my name is Jackie Grahowski, and tonight I'm going to be showing you how to take vital signs. I have Belito as my horse and Vivian as the holder. So vital signs are just a way to check the horse's overall health and make sure that there aren't any health issues going on with them. So the first vital sign that you can take is their overall appearance. So Belito's eyes are bright, his ears are perked forward, and he seems to be kind of aware of the surroundings. He's looking at me, and he's a pretty calm horse, so this is normal for him. So the first vital sign that I'm going to take is his temperature. So I have a mercury thermometer with a string and clip attached. This is so I can clip it to the tail after it is inside the horse. So I'm going to check the temperature and make sure that it is below 98 degrees. It is not, so I have to shake it down so the mercury doesn't give an inaccurate reading of the horse's temperature. Next, you put your finger in the petroleum jelly and put it on the tip of the thermometer and glide it down to lubricate it. You don't want to stick the thermometer itself into the petroleum jelly, because if another horse was sick and you put another thermometer in there, it could contaminate the petroleum jelly for the next horse. So whenever you're taking the temperature, you want to let the horse know that you're at its hindquarters. So you rub your hand over its haunches, over its butt, and just gently slide its tail to the side and insert it into the rectum, kind of tilting it up so it doesn't get inside of a poop glob. And then you can let the tail sit back down. And then I clip it up at the top of the tail, so if the horse were to swish his tail, it won't yank the thermometer out. For the mercury thermometer, you have to let it set inside of the horse for 2 minutes to get an accurate reading. The next vital sign that we're going to be taking is the mucous membranes. So this is taken on the gums of the horse or the conjunctiva of the eye. We don't like to use the conjunctiva of the eye because the horses are sensitive around their eyes, and if the horse shifted his head, you could accidentally poke him in the eye. It's also not the best indicator for the horse's overall health if they had an issue within their eye, as another irritant could be the wrong indication for the horse's health. So for the mucous membranes, I'm going to lift his lips up to look at his gums. I'm going to be looking for a light pink color with a nice moisture sheen. So you want to stand on the side of the horse and pull it up to look. So he's got pink gums and his gums were moist. So that is a healthy indication. If his gums had been dry, that would indicate that he is dehydrated. If his gums had been dark red, that would indicate an infection or a fever. If they had been a brickish blue or purple, that would mean that he doesn't have the correct amount of oxygen. If they were a white or purplish color, that would mean that the horse was going into shock or that it was anemic. And then if it was yellow, that would indicate some liver problems or possibly jaundice. So the next vital sign that we're going to be taking is the capillary refill time. It is separate from the mucous membranes, but they are both taken on the gums of the horse. For the capillary refill time, I'm going to lift his gums and press my thumb onto his gums hard enough that it becomes white, and I'm looking to see how long it takes for the color to come back to his gums. The typical time is 1 to 2 seconds. So we're gonna look at him again. So his color came back in about 1 second, so that means that he is hydrated. If it had taken a little bit longer for it to come in, he would be dehydrated. The next vital sign that I'm going to be showing you is the pulse. The pulse is taken on the maxillary artery. this is a rope-like structure below the jawbone of the horse. So you kind of roll it around under your fingers and then slightly press down to build up the blood pressure to where you can feel the pulse on your fingers. I'm going to have Vivian time me for 15 seconds. Whenever she's ready.
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay.
In time.
Okay, so I got 11 beats in 15 seconds. So we're going to take that times 4, and that's 44. So the normal range for the heartbeat is 32 to 44 beats per minute. So this is on the very upper cusp of the range. So he is within the normal barriers. If it had been higher than that, he could have possibly just come in from being exercised, or he might be in a warmer environment or have a stressor of some kind. This could also indicate pain or a fever or infection. The pulse can also be taken on the inside of the knee at the radial artery. There is another pulse, but you are not actually trying to find the heart rate of the horse in this. It is the digital pulse. For this, you are feeling for a quality of the pulse and not the pulse rate itself. You take it on the back of the pastern or below the fetlock, and you're looking for the quality. Most of the time, you shouldn't be able to really feel it, or it should be very, very subtle. If you found a bounding pulse, this would indicate that there is a complication within the foot, such as an abscess, a hot nail, or some other kind of complication. The next vital sign that we're going to be taking is the skin pliability or skin pinch test. This is to indicate whether or not the horse is hydrated. To do the skin pliability test, you go above the shoulder on their neck, gently pull out on their skin, and release it. So you can see that his skin stayed up just a little bit, which this is okay. He's a little bit of an older horse, so that means that his skin isn't as elastic as it was before, so it won't go back down as quickly sometimes. If the skin were to stay up like this, that would mean that he was severely dehydrated, and that is called tinting whenever the skin stays up like this. The next vital sign that we're going to be taking is the heart rate. The heart rate is taken behind the elbow on the heart girth. This is another indication of how fast the heart is beating, so it should match up with the pulse. You take it with your stethoscope, and I'm going to have Vivian time me for 15 seconds once I find his heart rate. Now, whenever you're looking for this, it isn't the loud thing that you hear in the movies. You're going to have to listen a little harder. Okay. Okay. All right. So I got 11 beats again. Times 4 seconds is 44 beats per minute. So he is still within the range of 32 to 44 beats. The next vital sign that we're going to be taking is gut sounds. The gut sounds are an indication of the gut health and how well the digestive system is working. So to take the gut sounds, you look at the upper and lower quadrant on each side of the horse. You're looking for a constant gurgling noise by the horse. If the horse's guts are going constantly and fast, this is called hypermotility. And you're going to need to get your vet because this is a form of colic. There's also silence, which you will need to get your vet for. For there to be no sounds for the gut, you would have to listen for 2 minutes to actually have a diagnosis of no gut sounds. There's also pinging sounds, which sounds like a drop of water or a plastic bottle falling onto concrete. This is also an indication of colic, and you should call your vet. You need to check all 4 quadrants because there might be active guts in one section but not in another. That is not healthy, and you should contact your vet. So, to take the gut sounds, you can place your ear directly on the horse or use a stethoscope. I prefer to place my ear directly on the horse because I can hear it a little clearer there. So, you put your head on, and I'm hearing good gut sounds. You always want to be watching the horse's back feet so you can get out of the way if they're about to kick you. If the horse is actually having health problems, good gut sounds again. If they're actually having health problems, then they are more than likely going to be very sensitive and will not want you to be putting your head on their side. Again, getting constant gurgles. And healthy activity. So he has good constant gurgles in all 4 quadrants, which is a good sign of health. The next vital sign that we're going to be taking is the respiratory rate. To take the respiratory rate, you look at the flank of the horse and watch for an up and down motion. This is a cycle, and it counts as 1 breath. So to take this, I'm going to have Vivian time me for 15 seconds as I count the breaths.
Okay, go. Okay, stop.
I got 3 breaths in those 15 seconds, so 3 times 4 is 12. 12 breaths falls right in the range of 8 to 16 breaths per minute, so this is a healthy pace. If the breathing rate was higher, then the horse could have just got done working, or this could be an indication of pain. You also want to make sure that your horse isn't sniffing whenever this is happening, because then they'll be breathing a lot faster and give an inaccurate reading. If the breathing rate is higher than the pulse or heart rate, this is an indication of inverted respiratory rate. This is bad, and you should contact your vet. Alright, so we've had the mercury thermometer inside the Lido for over 2 minutes, so we should be getting an accurate reading. So I'm going to take the clip off of his tail, gently pull his tail to the side, and take the thermometer out. I'm then going to clean it on his tail. You could also use a towel to do this. And I'm going to see what his temperature is. Okay, I got 100.4 degrees. So, the typical range for a horse is 99.5 to 101.5 degrees Fahrenheit. The average temperature just happens to be what the Lido had, 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit. If the temperature was higher than this, that could indicate a fever or infection or some other health issue, or the horse could have just got done working. The mercury thermometer is a little more accurate than the digital thermometer, which we're getting ready to use, because it can go farther inside of the horse and gives a more accurate reading. For the digital thermometer, we're going to do the same lubrication process. So you put the petroleum jelly on your finger, put it on the tip, and I got a little much, so I'm going to put it back in the container. And then you spread it along the insertion point. Now we're going to go back to the Lido, let him know that we're back here so he doesn't try to kick us. We're going to turn it on, wait for it to say that it's ready, Then we're going to lift his tail and pull it to the side as before and insert it. Now we're going to wait until it beeps to indicate that it is ready. And we're going to clean it off like we did with the mercury. Now this thermometer is saying 99 degrees. So as I was saying before, the mercury thermometer is a little more accurate, and it's typical for it to be 1 to 2 degrees higher than the digital thermometer just because it is able to go farther into the horse's rectum. That's all of our vital signs. Thank you for watching.